There are no shortage of string synthesizers on the market today, and today I want to look at the Streichfett from Waldorf, so stick around. Hello Internet, Chris Cline here with Alma Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. And as I said in the cold opening, we're going to look at Waldorf Streichfett today. It's a wonderful little string synthesizer, and again, there's no shortage of them on the market today, but this is such a great little piece. But before I move forward, I want to make sure that you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, because we're going to be bringing you more content that's focused on synthesizers and pro audio and drum machines and all kinds of other gadgets. And of course, we have our other channels as well: accordion, bass, piano, guitar. There's no shortage of content coming from us. We want to help you, on your path to being a better musician, producer, whatever it is. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and move forward and let's look at the Streichfett. Listen to it, see what kind of functionality it has, and how far we can actually push this little device from Waldorf synthesizers. So here is Waldorf Streichfett. And as you can see, the form factor is pretty small. They have a couple of other synthesizers that meet this same form factor, the same type of box. I think the Rocket is one, and I can't think of the other one. Maybe it's just one other one. I definitely know that the Rocket fits the same type of dimensions, the same type of case. And like all things Waldorf, it's built like a tank. The pots feel good. The switches are really, really awesome. There's a lot of technology in this box. We have a headphone output, stereo left, right, USB connection, and then your standard 5-pin MIDI DIN, in and out. Really, my biggest issue with this box is that it's powered from USB, and I'm kind of tired of that being somewhat of the norm with a lot of different devices. Of course, the boutique line from Roland is like that, unless you plug in a bunch of batteries. I can't remember how many AA batteries each of those boxes wants. I feel like it's far too many. I would like for there to be an option, and of course there are options where you can have a USB cable with some sort of power attached to it, or a battery or something like that. But I'm just tired of that kind of being the norm on some of these things where you have to plug it into a USB port to get power. But other than that, this is a very, very well thought out, well laid out, well designed instrument. And if you're looking for that classic string synth sound, if you're thinking of, a Selena or, some of the early Roland boxes, this is certainly going to sate that appetite. The map on this is right at about $480 if I'm not mistaken. So it's not incredibly expensive. Of course, you can find them on the secondary market as well. Lots of options and functionality when it comes to dialing in sounds. So if you look at the box and the way that it's laid out, the left side says strings. Then over here on the right side, you have something that says, solo. Now with the strings, we have violin, viola, cello, brass, organ, and choir. I'm going to just go ahead and press G here, and I'm going to go through the sounds. You can actually morph through the sounds. And the choir setting is actually quite cool, until you get to basically everything being on at one time. Now right now we're listening to what would be considered the bass octave. We can listen to it an octave up as well. So now we're hearing both the bass octave and an octave up, or we can just listen to 8VA or the octave up. And then if you want to, manipulate the pitch, of course you can do that with your pitch bend or other functions if you are a MIDI guru, obviously. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead and take it back to bass. And as you can see, or as you can hear, the violin and viola and cello are quite different in that it becomes a little more, as we go from violin to viola, the cello becomes a little more resonant, a little more buzzy, a little more sawtoothy, and it also changes the octave that we're sitting in as we move to cello. It drops an octave. Now right now, there's really no bells and whistles attached to the sound. If we want to get that ensemble chorus effect, well, if I switch this button or press this button, the ensemble button, And well, let's turn it off and let's actually engage it while I'm playing a chord. So let's do like a G minor. And then with the ensemble button, it really opens it up. Now we can also change the attack. Now here they have it labeled as crescendo. Let's think about, the strings and, how we're going to describe the amplitude envelope of a string section. We're not necessarily going to say attack. We're going to say, hey, let's have a longer crescendo or whatever. Release, of course, that name just stays the same. We can really stretch that release out. We can have a longer crescendo. So let's have a faster crescendo or attack. Let's move our release up. Let's listen to the other choruses that exist. And that's a nice slow chorus where the string chorus has a little more modulation to it. It's a little faster. That's in between, and then we switch over to chorus. And here it becomes a little more subtle, a little slower. So what does this sound like on other sounds? How does this ensemble affect other sound patches? Well, let's go ahead and I'll continue playing this lovely G minor chord, and I'll just sweep between the different types of sounds that exist here on the string section. It's a really nice big sound. Now, something else that a lot of us associate with these string types of synthesizers and sounds would be incorporating a phaser into it. And for those of you that are big fans of Italian giallo horror films, think Goblin or French soundtracks, this is immediately going to probably hit some sort of nostalgia button in your brain. So let's go ahead and switch the phaser on, which I've done right here. And then we will turn up the depth knob. And we can set it up to full blast, and then it gets really, really crazy. Very, very cool. And once again, as we start sweeping through different patches, it's a fantastic sounding synth. I really, really love it. I used it heavily on this ambient EP that I did a while back with a friend of mine, where we just used guitar loops, Fender Rhodes, and that was pretty much it. I think I incorporated some light drum machine stuff into that as well, but this was used heavily, and I'll include a link so you can go outside of YouTube and listen to it if you like, and then you can say whatever you want to about it. But we've only been focusing on the string section. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the balance knob. I'm going to go all the way over here to the solo section, so you get an idea of what this half of the total engine can provide. Now, right now it's on a setting called Pluto. And like the string section, we can actually blend the sounds as we cycle through them. So we start here with bass. And it's a very square wave sounding bass. We have attack and decay. If I take the attack knob and move it all the way counterclockwise, we start to get a percussive element to it. You can hear it. It's almost like you can hear the gate opening up, honestly. And then we can add tremolo to it. Again, very powerful. Let's turn the tremolo off and go to the electric piano patch. And it's not the best electric piano patch, but it could be used for something. And then as we continue to skirt over here to the right, up at the very top, we have a clavinet or a clavichord, and then a synth, and then Pluto, which is just another synth type of patch. Now we can blend both sides together with the balance knob. And we can add other effects as well. We have reverb on here, so let's go ahead and switch to that. You can add more of that percussive attack. Change the balance. And you can sit here and do this all day. You can store up to 12 different memory locations. So we have 4 buttons with 3 different banks, 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, and C. You can dial in all your favorite sounds. You can save up to 12 different patches, if you will. And you're probably going to have some go-to sounds that you're going to want to use for different types of, or different genres of music, if you will. So once again, incredibly powerful. It's very, very small and compact. The only issue, like I stated kind of towards the beginning of the demo, is the USB power issue. And that's not a deal killer for me, obviously. I mean, I love this thing and use it quite a bit. So, if you are in the market for a string synth, this is an incredible option. It's currently my favorite string synth that exists today, the new string synth. I know some of you out there are going to have your own take and feelings on that, whether it be some sort of virtual instrument or a different box altogether. Maybe the Roland Boutique is the VCO3 that has the vocoder option attached to it. I actually have one of those at home. Maybe we should do a comparison of those two. If you want to see that, let me know and we'll make it happen. But a wonderful box, not terribly expensive, and you're going to get just so much use out of it. So that's it for the Streichfett. I want to thank you for sticking around today and listening to me ramble on about this wonderful little string synth from Waldorf, the Streichfett. As I've already stated a couple of times, there are no shortage of string synthesizers on the market today, and you can find a lot on the secondary market. Lots of stuff from Roland. If you're lucky, you can maybe find an old Selena. You're probably going to pay a lot for it. Behringer is coming out with their own version, so they have said. I think right now it's kind of in that vaporware stage, and we'll see what happens with that. What I've heard sounds great. The Selena's awesome, but this is such a killer alternative, and there's so much functionality in it once again, and it's not just a string synth. As you heard, we can dial in some other sounds as well. So with that being said, let's get some comments happening down below. Let's keep it civil. Let's keep this dialogue flowing. Let's be nice to each other. We need more civility and niceness in the world today. And I want to hear what your thoughts are regarding this, or if you have thoughts on other string synthesizers that exist either today or in the past, because once again, there are quite a few, and they're all, they all have their own little flavor. But this is such a great alternative. So once again, I'm Chris Cline. I'm a Music Center in San Antonio. Be kind to each other. Keep on creating. Keep on pushing out your own content. We're curious to see what you're doing. And until next time, be safe.